Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. So sorry about this. It so happened that I actually started shooting an episode and I made one of the biggest mistakes ever. I forgot that I was shooting an episode and I ended up making a ridiculously long episode. Now, sometimes I do days off and stop talking in the middle of an episode, and that is a crime in itself. So, yeah, sorry for anybody who has to go through that. Although, I'm actually shocked at the viewership on some of these episodes. Where do I get 40 people watching this? It's the stuff I turn to when I'm just having fun. And yeah, no offense to anybody if you are watching. I don't normally get the viewership for these series. It's just that I've known that the first time I did Valheim, it did fantastically. I think I made it up to 1,500 as my best viewed video. And yeah, after that, the second time that it came by and the third time that it came by, the viewership was just terrible. And I knew that I wasn't going to get another episode past 2 viewers. And that's the reality behind it. And I have videos that are climbing again. I don't understand why. The YouTube algorithm is just such a mess. These are my more crappy videos, to be honest. Um, I have no intention to make them better, just in case anybody's thinking that they're terrible for now and they're going to get better. No. These videos are going to stay exactly as they are. It's only what comes after all of this mayhem that is meant to be improved in any way. Okay, so what I'm doing here is actually one of the more important things. I'm actually setting up the outer limits of my farm. So, yeah, the farm which you set up in the worst biome of all biomes, the plains, is generally one of your more important farms. And this farm, only the outside really gets set easy. Then I have to go through and re-level the entire thing, if I'm being honest, because this is just the temporary inside. It's easier to do this before you level everything out, because once you level everything out, everything changes. In case anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about using yeah, I can see that this isn't level. That's what I'm looking for as well. There's some pieces of rock stuck throughout this ground because I've taken out the top of a lot of rocks here. And yeah, this is just one of those things. There's not enough to load me out or to help with building. It's just small figures that are underground. That's fantastic. In case anybody is wondering, why in the world would you make a massive farm out in the plains, knowing how dangerous it is? Well, if that's the case, then you definitely don't play the game. And yeah, the reason behind this is there's 2 or 3 items from the plains that can only be grown in the plains. In terms of calling it a hard to maintain resource, yeah, you'd be right. You can only get it from the plains, and right here you can actually see just how crazy it is. So yeah, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 would be good enough, but I want to go 15. So currently that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, black metal. It's the easiest resource to farm in all of New World. I know there's enough people who might disagree with that statement. So anyway, let's see how far I'm gonna push this farm. The reason why I'm actually thinking of not going as far as I originally wanted to go, which would be quite a ridiculous farm, is I remember the hassle of digging my trench around my base. It's going to take me forever, and this base will be trenched. There is no way that I'm leaving it without a trench. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's how you end up with 10. This is crazy. There is another way to do this here as well, and I'm actually going to switch to it soon. Building that stone corridor that I did to get out to the point is kind of pointless. So, yeah, I'm just going to cut this down. Oh yeah, in case you're wondering why I'm cutting down outside so aggressively, that's because all of that is going down. This entire place is just going to be this flat place in the end. This is most probably one of the flattest bases. Oh, I don't know. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14, 15 would be the perfect length to make this go out. It's just too much of work. In case anybody thinks this is once again a big base, no, this isn't. Go look at Havoc and his videos. In case anybody doesn't know that, it's Havak. And yeah, when you get onto his channel and you see his server, I play on that server and I made that massive base. Yep, that crazy killer base that literally would stall most servers for anybody who used their brain to build a base. Yeah, that is me. And in case you think that I'm the only crazy person, one of our other friends, Phoenix, made a tower that made my ridiculous build seem reliable and small. But of course, I still outdid that in size. I never completed that build, just by the way. And I still consider it to be ridiculous. Just for a hint on how big it is, if this base were to be placed at that base, let's see, there were 12 by 12 by 12, so 36 would just be the cross section of the walls inside there. And yeah, the moment I say that, I think you already got the hint on how crazy huge that base was. And in case anybody thinks there's a good reason to build a base like that, nope, there was none. Everybody advised me not to do it, to be honest. And when I started it, I thought it would be easy. I thought I could do everything without a single cheat code. And I was wrong. I won't deny that part. I ended up using cheat codes. And I ended up using a second map to get iron. And I deleted the map, re-downloaded it, deleted, re-downloaded, because some of the seeds were known for having a ridiculous amount of swamps. So yeah, that's how I managed to make my way through that conundrum. Nope, that's not what I want to do. So yeah, here we go. The craziness of building a proper moat. Now, there is a reason why I'm saying this is a proper moat. Compared to any other moat that I've built so far, this is going to be nice and thick and deep. The reason behind it being thick is I am going to leave lots in here. Tons of lots. I'm expecting that at some point it won't allow me to reach the water with the depth. So yeah, this is going to be quite fun. And this base is going to be fantastic for taking on raids. I can already tell that just because of the one side. Because of the watered down swamp on the side, I know that I'll have an advantage against goblins here. And you might be thinking, I'm leaving the edges of my base exposed. And no, that's not part of my base. These are just foundations that are far out from the inside of my base. Okay, let me just get up top and see how far that little hole is. Not even far enough to make a difference. So yeah, in case anybody is wondering why it's so important to start building the outer section of my base and guarding it like I'm preparing to fight a war, well, there are some events that will start going off that are like fighting a little mini war with your base. And this is one of the reasons for building the moat. It's to actually preserve this craziness. Now I don't have to do a too high wall, but I will do a too high wall. The reason for that is quite simple. It's actually to stop mosquitoes from interfering with me while I'm farming, because it interferes with their flight sequence. I hope it still does, at least. The amount of deaths I've had in the plains is quite ridiculous, and the most common reason for dying in the plains is not goblins. I've taken out entire tribes without having to have to use any cheats like you've seen me use. But my most common reason for dying in the plains is mosquitoes. Their backstab ability when you forget to eat food, because like how I was going here, there's no reason to eat food, and bam, all of a sudden mosquito shows up and you backstabbed, and so So here's a weird question for everybody out there who's playing this game or who has ever played this game. Have you ever held a real pickaxe in your hands? Now, the reason why I ask this is I only realize this now, but most people most likely have never held a pickaxe in their hand and likely never ever used one. I happen to have used pickaxes for most of my adult life because of happenstance. Just so happens that my family operates a hardware store, so we ended up having to sell picks. So yeah, that's kind of a crazy thing to think about, and I have handled them as a result of it. Properly using it, on the other hand, I have to solidly pass on saying that, because I doubt that I have properly used it. I can see the dip in this entire ground already. None of the staircases are in. Now, in case anybody thinks it's going to be super hard, you're going to have a lot to go through just to get all of the materials you want, no, it's not going to be hard. In reality, I've done this here way too many times to lie about it, but getting all your materials to build your first base when you're building that trench is not that difficult. You get about 6% of your entire base built out of the trench. It can be really difficult for a lot of people, because going around and finding rocks is crazy. And I still have to go around and find other bases after this, so that's another crazy adventure. Right, I'm just gonna call it an adventure for now, even though it definitely wouldn't count as an adventure. I really want to build that black metal shield. That is the best shield that you can run around with. And the reason why I love using the black metal shield, it just parries everything. I've parried a sea monster's breath. I've parried what else was that I parried? I know I parried something ridiculous, but You saw that the mosquito easy into me because of the lack of walls. I don't know where to stick this. Oh yeah, here's something crazy to note. I've actually built some of these under the base. So yeah, I have a base which can never ever remain unrepaired no matter how hard you hit it. Because the benches are all deep underground. And at one stage, they never used to instantly break. So I used to just line it. Well, you have seen a lot of mining and a lot of cleaning up, but this is not. This is only the start of the mayhem. And that's obviously because this is just one side of the base. Sometimes I make these passages really, really long because of the locks. Because I don't want the locks damaging my base while we're fighting goblins. And yeah, they are fantastic defense, to be honest. I might steal a tool from one of my other bases and use that tool to help me out over here. No, I don't need that tool right now. I'm just thinking about it. Right now, I don't have any chain block, so all I've got to do is get to lock to chase me into the hole once I've totally dug it up. Here's something a little bit off topic and crazy. You know, everybody always talks about how science is always so correct. But did you know that science is more uncertain than it is certain? That means that almost every theory is more incomplete than it is complete. So yeah, in case anybody ever wanted to try and beat a scientist at their own game, that is one of the crazy excuses you can use in a debate against a science major, like an engineer, which is what I am, ironically enough. A lot of people don't know that science actually advocates that it is only 3% correct, and that we are at least 90%, 97% uncertain. Just for all of you guys who want to pick a little bit of a fight with the scientists. Because the moment you say that the known subject matter of the universe is supposedly no more than 3%, and when they ask you what's the reasonable room for error, it's a 3% variance. So yeah, that's just how crazy these things are. And in case you think that it's just the words used, no, it's actually the findings that have been pushed through so far have always been that far. We do have a general understanding in terms of science, but in terms of everything else to do with science, we're more unknown than known. Oh yeah, in case you think the base is anywhere near done, no, it's only half complete on the top and it still needs half to be done. It happens every once in a while. I get tired of building, and you know what? You can't blame a person for getting tired of building in these games. Most of these survival games have tons of building. So yeah, just look at the size of this place. Oh, it reminds me of my old days. Maybe I should take you there, just to show you what I mean by a ridiculous put. Around one of my bases is a moat that had so many rocks in it, I could actually build another base just with those rocks. So yeah, it's pretty insane. And there is a very good reason why I'm opening it out so far. That's because I don't want the locks to get spooked by my base, and I don't want them to aggro to me that much, so I'm going to use this base as a spawning point and a place that I can jump in to get a locks anytime I want, if I want to have a campaign beast to run around with. Oh yeah, that is something else I didn't mention. I have used the Locks army to kill a boss, and it was a little bit more intense than I intended it to be. It was just way more intense. The locks last really long, and when you use a locks against Yeglis, um, man, those guys really pack a punch. You remember what I did with the wolves? Just a few of them. I only managed to get 5 locks against Uglyph. I think they took out 80% of the health from Uglyph. So yeah, if you know how to get your creatures across the map, they can really affect your battles. And yeah, in case you're thinking that putting on saddles isn't expensive, saddles are ridiculous. They're so expensive, I still feel the ouch from seeing that saddles are expensive. You might be wondering why it looks like I'm pushing to get down on this narrow so quickly right now. That's because I know this pickaxe is about to go down. I remember I doubled up my pickaxes on my last playthrough. So I went with one from my previous world and the one that I made on that world, and it was pretty quick by comparison of going back and repairing every time. And I have to admit that was one of the more smart ideas. But I'm not about to do it again because it's also a massive drawback with the same thing. Oh, there we go. And that is the weight you have to walk around with. Goblins plus mosquitoes. Well, that's gonna be where we call it for this episode. I think I've taken you through enough pickaxing, and you have gotten to see the outer limits of the space. It's basically gonna be a repeat of the space, except that it won't have any windows. 1 second. This I don't think you have seen as yet. Oh wait, no, I did. I did showcase all of this. But with the revamp internally, this is just awesome at the top. Look at how wide I made it all of a sudden. I could actually put up my portals here. And I could put portals along the corridors as well. Ooh, that is just another killer. Learning that I could put another 8 more portals in the bottom section of the space without any problem. Yeah. Well, anyway, catch you all in the next part. Hopefully I don't have a base with, 8, 16, with 32 portals in the end. So yeah, catch you all in the next one. Till then, have a good day.